Hey yo, in this video I'd like to share 5 reasons why your B2B SaaS marketing campaigns might be not as good as you think. The first one is that you don't know your inputs required per sale. And what I mean by that is, are you sure that you are tracking how many emails, posts and ads it takes you to get a new customer? More often than not, I find that many startups are not tracking this. And this is causing them having very little understanding of their funnel. They cannot do effective planning, because how can you plan months and years ahead if you don't know that, okay, it takes you 1400 messages to close one customer? And transitioning from a startup into a scale up is impossible without reverse engineering your metrics like that. Second one, your open rates might be too low. Are you tracking opens on your outbound campaigns? More often than not, I find that different startup founders are completely ignoring this step. And as a result, they would be thinking that they are having like their green zone open rates, while in reality they are operating on open rates which are between 10 and 30%, which is quite low. Usually in highly competitive markets you want to be at least at 40%, like if we take e-commerce for example, or startups that raise funding. And for less saturated niches that are not being targeted with cold email as often, you want to be between 50 and 80%. So please start tracking your open rate and make sure that yours is in place. Then your deliverability is not 100%. This one, again, it is personal to me because I had such a story happen that I had another person run my campaigns and manage them for a few months, and I would not go and micromanage because I'm against micromanaging. I don't like when I hire people and then I need to spend hours in a day not minding my stuff, but rather sitting behind their back and figuring out what they're up to. I don't like this. And for that reason, it resulted in the following thing: that they were operating my campaigns for a few months and I would not go deep into numbers and double check, okay, what is our bounce rates, what are deliverability, and so on. And as a result, we had one person in my network suddenly has a look at my campaigns one day and he tells me, Denis, are you sure that everything is fine? I'm like, wait, what's wrong? And then he says that my bounce rate is at 12%, and that's why 40% of my emails are landing in spam. And me, person who's helping other startup founders get sales through cold email, you may get how ridiculous to me it felt at that time, because having 40% spam rate meant that we have burned thousands, if not tens of thousands of leads, and this was a very expensive lesson for me. So you want your campaign deliverability to be 99/100%, meaning that you don't want your bounce rate to exceed 1 or 2%, because if it happens, then Google will be seeing that, oh, this person from this domain is sending many messages that are not landing in people's email folders. And for that reason, they would put you in spam, and then your campaigns are gonna be dead. And then you'd have to go through the very painful process of tweaking your numbers, putting your domains into like follow-up lists and warm-up lists, because then for a couple of months they would be burned, if not forever. Then another stupid thing which would happen is, if this has been happening for too long, and if you've been hitting such like high bounce rate above 2% for too long, then what may happen is that you burn your domain so much that you just need to purchase new ones. If it happens on multiple domains, you don't want to be losing money like that. The next one is that you are not scoring your leads. And I got another story for this one, because currently I'm working with a UK startup who are selling to mid-sized businesses. And for weeks, we have been looking at their campaigns, seeing new leads and a packed pipeline. But weeks passed and I noticed the revenue wasn't growing. And what's more, we got so many new deals, they couldn't keep up with onboarding new clients. Usually it would be a dream scenario that startup joins the program and within a month or 2 months, they get so many new demo requests and meetings that they can hardly keep up with them. And that's how we need to level up our operations side of their business next. However, here, not only they had overwhelming amount of meetings, but they had it for 1 week, 2 weeks, a month. And then I noticed that for the amount of meetings they're getting, their revenue is not growing as much as it should be. And that's how we started digging into what could be wrong. We got on a call and started auditing their pipeline from A to Z. Volume, check. Replies, check. Calls, check. Deals closed, check. revenue growth, none. And this was a very weird moment. So as they're pricing based on product usage, the lead quality is extremely important to them. I opened their analytics trying to find what could be wrong. And after digging into all possible places, I realized that they haven't been scoring their leads. As a result, each new customer was an equal priority for their success manager. And no matter if the deal is worth $20K or $200, CSM was treating them equally. What happened as a result is they got an overwhelming amount of product demos and new deals were signed, but as they were not assigning scores or priority to each new customer, they filled their pipeline like with people who are not nearly as much of worth to them as some of the other ones. So I opened their Trello. In 5 minutes we reassign all the lead scores, and next week they are onboarding people who are worth 5-10K deals. Please make sure you're scoring yours so this doesn't happen. And especially if you are operating on a large scale, yes, you may know this, but some of your team members may not, and this would be a dangerous spot to find out. Okay, and number 5 is that you might be missing upsell opportunities. So one of my clients is operating in the LinkedIn automation market, and they're growing in 2 different ways. They have the self-onboarding product for mid-sized businesses, and they have the way to grow through product demos upon request when it comes to enterprise level companies. So we were doing our monthly SaaS Camp KPIs check, and something seemed off, because more than 10 product demos in the past 2 weeks, but revenue growth didn't look as we planned. We reviewed their entire funnel and everything was okay. So then we dig deeper into the way they run their demos. And what did we find out is that they stopped pitching their enterprise offer for people who were a fit. And you don't want this to happen to your startup. If somebody is getting on a call with you and you clearly see they would rather spend more money than usual amount, pack your offer accordingly. Because yes, sure, when you're scaling, you sometimes overlook it, but before you're this product market fit stage and before you get real traction, you do want to be on top of every single customer that you're onboarding, and you want to understand, okay, how many employees they got, what's the revenue size, why they are coming to your product, and a bunch of other questions that you ask in an interview. Once you conduct those, you don't want to lose revenue that is ready for you there, because some company may be okay to spend 1K a month, someone would want a bit more personalization and a bit more features, and they'd be okay spending 10, 15, 20K a month. And you don't want to sometimes treat all of them equally, because before you are at 3 million ARR for for instance, why overlook such growth opportunities? It may take you a few weeks to build a couple more features they like, but the upside is just too much worth it. So we get used to onboarding medium level companies that our eyes don't notice prospects who are willing to pay 10-20x of the usual pricing for a more stacked offer. And you can guess what happened soon after we started providing offers accordingly, because then our enterprise level plan started selling much better and the revenue charts showed it. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure that your campaigns and your funnel does not have any issues like these ones, because it would be just too sad to leave revenue like that on the table. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. See you in the next one.